Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Sales Uncharted. And I always promise my listeners that I'm going to bring someone so unique, so different, that's going to bring to your perspective that you may not have heard, but will sound very common sense, but it may be very profound. This individual is someone that I highly respect. This is, and I would say this, never met the individual, but I've heard a lot about him. And I finally said to myself, we keep bumping on LinkedIn. I really want to reach out to Raghu. Raghu is here with me today. I'm actually going to ask Raghu to introduce himself, but I'll just give a quick background. So I'm ex-HP, Raghu ex-HP, and Raghu is also a high-tech stalwart, right? I typically don't try to bring sales VPs and other people like that onto these calls because we end up going into technique a lot, right? I want Raghu on the call today because I think Raghu brings a tremendous balance around mindset, around technique, as well as understanding what sales today looks like compared to what sales used to look like before. Welcome to the show.
So good to be with you, Deepak. Even I've heard a lot about you, follow your LinkedIn posts, very interesting posts. Plus,
Thank
I
you,
get
sir.
your newsletters. I subscribe for them. So they're
Thank you
very
very much for that
interesting.
too.
So just to give a quick elevator pitch, I have about close to 34 years of total work experience.
Agree.
So I was a front-end salesperson, then became a sales manager, then product manager, category head, then again back to sales. I was the director for retail for HP India. Then did a similar profile in AMD South Asia. Then my third avatar, where 2012 December, I started Salezart Consulting. And this is my 14th year. So I'm happy to say we have impacted the lives of more than 70,000 sales participants in different selling skills.
Yes, sir.
And this is something I really love. And I want to talk to you more about it as we move forward in this.
Absolutely.
I didn't think of any other profession, nor was I curious to learn about them. And just moved with the flow, engineering entrance and joined engineering college. Post engineering, just got placed into a cement factory. And I was just working in maintenance for about a year and a half. But something, I was not very excited. I was doing my job. I was learning. They were shuffling me between departments. It was great learning. But there was no joy.
Yes.
What? As I'm a mechanical engineer, I can sell computers. Of course, you can sell computers. You just need to have the attitude, good communications. Rest we will train you. So that started playing in my mind. I kept in touch with him. Then it took me 6 months to firm up my mind and then attend multiple rounds of interviews. And then I got selected as a marketing executive in that very computer company. So what started in a train journey, 6 months later, I actually joined them.
Yeah.
And then my life changed forever. So awesome. That whole journey started from there. So I was with IT industry for the next close to 20 years.
But I have to ask you a question now.
Yeah.
So you get into the sales training component, right? At that point, if you were to go back and think about it, what is the best advice you got that actually allowed you to become the salesperson that you are? And then also maybe tell me which was the worst advice I got, which actually later on I realized was really bad advice, shouldn't have taken it. But there has to be one gem that gave you that courage and the power to stay where you are, because sales is not easy, right, Raghu?
Yeah.
Either you're very lucky and you get something going, but it requires a lot of hard work. What was that one advice? And this is typically a question asked very late, Raghu, but there's something about this conversation that I really want to just do it right now. You've just started your career. What was that one advice?
One advice that I got, which later I realized played a big part in my life.
Yes, sir.
Was from one of my senior professors in engineering.
Oh.
One of those typical days in college, I think second or third year, I don't remember, when we were creating a lot of ruckus in the campus and class and all that.
Yes, sir.
Behaving unruly. He came to the class and ordered us to quieten. Then he got talking about, great guy. He got talking about life and things. And, you guys think right now it's all playful and great, but a lot of things are in store for you, responsibilities and all that. And that journey veered into communication skills, your ability to communicate, articulate, and persuade people.
Yes.
And he said, at the end of the day, people who can communicate well are the ones who are going to go far in life. You may be the greatest guy, but if you can't communicate, you will not get the research funding. You will not get what you want. It's
right.
And he suddenly, out of blue, he turned to me and said, "See, Raghu, he's a good communicator. He will figure out his life." And I was shocked. I was trying to hide actually behind my desk.
Yes.
And sometimes you don't know your own strengths.
Correct.
And when third party points it out, when someone else points it out, you realize that actually hit me hard. And I mean, it was one of those days I let it go. But that kept playing in my mind.
Yes.
It plays even today.
But now let's go back to, you've got the communication skill locked down. But if I were to, Raghu, force you to go back to giving advice to people on the call right now, let's say there's a 21-year-old on this call right now who is going to join sales. What
Yeah.
was that one thing that your manager told you, Raghu, that you feel today was the best thing you did, and that really helped me, Deepak, to overcome whatever pain, any setbacks and stuff like that? Was there any advice that came out at that point?
Okay, so one of the best advices I received from my manager early on was, see, we had this whole culture in sales where when you have problems, you don't talk about it. You're always under pressure to deliver numbers. So the common phrase is always used is, do what it takes.
Do what it
to
takes. Correct.
Deliver the number.
Yes.
So many salespeople do by hook or crook, giving all kinds of commitments, and then get the order. And later you're saddled with a unhappy customer, unsatisfied customer, a lot of escalations. And this is post sales. Many times, even your numbers you are not able to meet, but still
Correct.
you are trying to do all kinds of the famous Indian jugaad, and you're trying to do all kinds of permutations and combinations to close. So
Yes.
one of my managers in the early stage, 3-4 months into my career, he told me, listen, I may not be able to help you always, but you should not keep your problems with you. If you have a problem, something that you can't fathom by yourself, understand, talk to your peers, can't clear, you should come to me. You should come to people who can give you clarity. I may not go out into the field with you, but I can give you clarity because I have been through that. It will cut short your learning. So then I came out of my comfort zone. And he also said one very good thing. He says, today you come and say there is a problem, I can't do this. I may just give you one slap. But you say this at the end of the month or the quarter, I will have to lynch you.
The severity has risen because
you're better off with one slap, but going back with a solution and then making sure your numbers happen. So that gave me a lot of clarity. So after that, whenever I had a problem, I would go one-on-one to my managers or seniors and talk to them. Say, hey, I have this issue. There is no shame or there is no embarrassment or your what do you call the manhood or I don't know what is the right word. That does not diminish.
Let me help you here. Let me help you here, because this is such a powerful conversation. One of the biggest things that I have noticed, and Raghu, you can check me on this, whether I'm right or wrong on this or not, but is that salespeople, by their very definition, right, are always trying to position themselves as someone that's in control of the situation, right? Because there's this stigma attached. If you suddenly become like the common man, then why are you earning uncommon income? So you need to try to remain at a certain level. And there's very great power in what you said. What you're saying is that personal angle that you brought up, I think, is extremely critical, because salespeople are tuned to always, like when you tell how things going, salespeople 9 out of 10 will always go, it's okay, boss. Then when you have the forecast meeting, something else is going on, and then you have to dig in deep. So you're absolutely powerfully correct. Rather suffer the consequences. The degree will be lower of punishment and get the advice. But I would also say bite your ego. Would you kind of agree? And what would your advice be to salespeople that have this concept in their mind that by showing my weakness or by showing where I actually am, I am going to find myself on a slippery slope where I'm going to lose what this company or this aura that I have. Do you still see that actively happening? Because I bump across it many times where salespeople tend to be of a nature that even with the age of AI, everyone tells me we don't use AI, but I know everyone's using AI. So I always find that going on. What would in your journey along the way, how have you resolved things like that when you talk to people?
I would just tell them, you are not going to become a lesser person by asking for help and confessing that you have a challenge,
right,
that you can't figure this out.
Right.
But there is a time for it. So I always tell my team, in sales, we work on 2 time zones. Yes, wartime, peacetime. Wartime,
Bravo.
Wartime is when you have your month ends, quarter ends, half year ends, year ends, when a big scheme is ending, big offer is ending, linearity cutoff, whatever
linearity cutoff, whatever. Correct.
You can't go on a last day and tell your manager, I have a problem and I need help. He or she, they need time to help you. You're better off during peacetime, during the middle of the month, beginning of the month, and say, hey, I don't understand this, I have a problem. Then they can actually spend time, they may initially shout or say, what the hell, I'm paying you the big bucks to do all this, and you are coming and asking me, all that. Right. But they also, see, only if you tell them these are the 2 or 3 areas I need your help, they also have some tasks to do. So Correct. They will come with you and they'll help you solve the problem.
But Raghu, there's a very powerful message there, right? You would agree that it's not just only about, because I brought in the angle of sales people, but
Hmm.
you actually raised the point of sales leadership also here.
Correct.
So if we were to look at sales leadership, and you were to, let's say, and as a sales leader listening on the call right now, and let's say assume that a salesperson is very reticent to open up, and what would you recommend a sales leader do? Because I really like the way you explained it earlier as to how your manager handled you. So if you were to be sitting and coaching a sales leader, what were the 2 or 3 nuggets you would give them to bring a salesperson out from his shell and understand this war and peace concept?
See, as a manager, my learning also was baptism by fire.
Yes.
Initially when I was a sales manager with 2 people reporting into me, and soon my super boss called me and said, I'm going to demote you back as an individual contributor.
Oh, interesting.
I said, why? Because I see you doing the job that your guys are supposed to do.
Bravo.
You're replicating everything. You're micromanaging.
Yes.
You have to be with them, enable them, but you can't be just, then they are not going to develop. So that was a big learning for me. Now, coming to as a manager, 2 3 things that really helped me was, one, going on sales calls with your team members. So when you go on sales calls with your team members to their channel partners or their end customers, even a person who's kind of reclusive or someone who doesn't open out or doesn't talk much inside the organization, you will see the way he's handling himself in the call, he or she, and the way
Yes.
the customer is reacting to them. You will know whether
Yes.
they're actually, there are some people who are very, very good outside, but not very communicative internally in the organization.
Understood.
And the true barometer is when you go for calls with them.
That's the moment of truth. Got it.
That's the moment of truth in the field. That's the reality. You can't go by the beautiful presentation or the calls where you
Correct.
cannot understand the real. Just because someone speaks very nice doesn't mean that person is a fantastic guy.
Understood.
Second thing that I learned, again, all this through trial and error and learning the hard way, is when you're doing your funnel reviews. See, most people do funnel review very operationally.
Mhm.
It is always about what should I do to meet my numbers.
Yeah.
Will I do my numbers? That's the only question that is
That's
asked.
reactive,
So it is
outcome
always
driven. Yeah.
how to solve this SOS, how to douse this fire, what is the best price to give, how do I close this deal. Very rarely we spend time in that funnel review on, can we do our numbers, which is looking at the funnel strategically. For example, if I'm looking at 20 deals and I realize, hey, why are there no opportunities for these premium models in any of your opportunities?
In any, yes. So you're looking for that the white patch.
Why? How many demos have you given? How many days it took for you to send the proposal? Then I understand the true issues. For example, there will be a guy who's actually taking 4 5 days to revert. Someone else is reverting in 1 or 2. So this person has
Yes.
a challenge.
Yes.
So then connecting the pre-sales along with him and making them work together, you fix the issue.
Yes.
Or I get to know that the number of demo units deployed is too less for the number of opportunities. Then I have a clear action item to work. So a lot of times I've realized the issue is not with the person, it is actually with the manager.
Because he's not measuring the right things at the right time. Is that
Absolutely.
how?
Absolutely.
Raghu,
So,
question for you.
yeah.
There's so much power in what you said. I really want to make sure the audience focuses on this. You are literally selecting precise leading indicators that tell you, here comes trouble, because these ratios suck right now. So therefore, if I see a forecast, but I don't see the right behavior done at the right time in the right quantum, all fiction, right? So I think the biggest message I'm picking up from you is that whatever field or area you're in, if you are keeping a good track record and you focused on leading indicators that tell you whether this funnel or this opportunity, whatever, how much sanity is in it, right? And these proxies sometimes are better evidence than listening to people giving you lovely wisdom or lovely words explaining how they are. But by just asking and saying, because one of the things I've realized, and remember, Raghu, I pivoted from sales into sales operations, right? And sales operations bread and butter is always to give you data, and the data tells you this guy takes 6 hours for a turnaround, this guy takes 6.2 days for a turnaround. And you are absolutely right. But I want to dig in deeper on this one now. If you were to look at consistent performers that you have coached, because I'm sure you keep in touch with the people that you coach to see what's going on, right? You also have long-term relationships. Raghu, what are the type of behaviors that these people are doing when it comes to the most basic stuff, such as filling their CRM, such as capturing the right data points? If someone says I'm in sales stage 6, they're actually doing the right evidence, prove it to you that they are in six. Because one of the things I've seen is customer speaks a different language. Internally, we speak a different language. So when you look at consistent performers, what are the 3 or 4 things that they do very well in terms of hygiene and consistency?
One is obviously what I told you about going for sales calls with them.
Yeah.
But coming to consistent performance, obviously data plays a very important part
Yes, sir.
in terms of the way they are meeting numbers, the quality of their pipeline and funnel. One of the things that I have realized with consistent performers is that many of the consistent performers do not have too many escalations and surprises, what we call as rat holes, post the deal.
Something, yes, I'm with you.
Yeah, a lot of times we find people who have done their numbers, but post the deal, you'll always find some issue or the other, and
Yes.
you're resolving issues and commitments made, companies held responsible, and
Side arrangement, side letters, blah blah. Anything you
all
name.
kinds of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Actually, the
yeah.
P&L takes a hit later.
Correct.
Very
Yeah.
badly. Whereas I've seen most consistent performers, they actually tell you upfront that there is a problem.
Yeah.
They don't hide. And the second, obviously, is their ability to forecast accurately is very, very high. One of my ex-managers, he used to call it as BSQ, bullshit quotient.
I had a bad feeling that the BS is coming up soon because okay.
So
BS,
basically, there is someone who will always sandbag and say I can only do 60, but at the end of the month they'll do 100, saying that with great difficulty I could do it. But the problem with those kind of people is that you're not ready with your supplies, forecast of material is not done, there is always a firefighting, the whole organization goes for a toss. On the other hand, there is someone who will always say 120 and do 80. Who create different kinds of issues. You will have wrong inventory lying with you.
I'm with you.
You made a wrong
basket.
And then there are some people who will always say 100 and they'll be between that 95 and 105. They know what is happening.
They have a range.
Absolutely. And typically these are the people who also get bumped up as managers. Not necessarily the guy who's done those mega deals, but has not given a heads up.
So is that a consistency range that's being rewarded? Is that a sales manager being consistent?
See, there is no percentage as that. I'm just going by what I have observed. I have observed that there is a lot of equity for people who can estimate the exit numbers as close as possible to real. If you see most of the people, they are the ones who grow up to the CXO levels. Because finally everything boils down to the final board giving exit numbers to the Wall Street, right?
Correct. And Raghu, this is a very powerful message you gave there. If you think about it, everyone at the top always used to tell me, Deepak, the problem I have when I was in sales, Raghu, the biggest issue that people have with me is that Deepak, you give us a lot of surprises. And you got to understand, we need to be comfortable knowing that you will not give us surprises. He says, if you are going to come to me and say, I'd like to be a people manager or a sales manager and a sales director, then the first thing I'm going to look for is consistency. Does he say what he says he will do? And then does he do it? And when he does he do it in a way that makes us proud? And if he were to teach that same way to others, will they all bring the company higher? And it took me a long time to actually figure out, Raghu, that you're right. And I always tell this, and I coach a lot of salespeople. There's one message I always give them. They always tell me, I want to grow. My manager makes 40% more than me. I want to become a sales manager. And the question I ask them is, what exactly do you think your manager does? Let's first understand that. And then you know what, Raghu, he tells me he actually doesn't know well. He says, he just follows us into rooms and he talks a lot. What does he say exactly? Tell me. So people are used to measuring themselves or having the managers measure them, but no one actually measures their managers to see that if he's my benchmark, what does he do so well? But Raghu, let's dig in deeper into this a bit more because...
No, just to add to what you said.
Yes, please do.
We used to sum it up in one line. Say what you do what you say.
It is absolutely. And when we started this conversation, you were talking about your manhood, your brotherhood, your word is we spoke about those at the early.
Blood commits. Exactly the point. There are managers who say, what's your blood commit?
What's your blood
As if you're going into a war.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now, Raghu, we are having a great conversation and I want to pivot now. So Raghu, you are comfortable in the corporate world.
Yeah.
And something happens. Why did you leave the corporate world to go into entrepreneurship? Because I can tell you right now, as an entrepreneur myself, Raghu, the first couple of years are the scariest. My entire persona was built around the fact that I used to call people and say, hi, this is Deepak calling from HP. And guess what? You think it's a cold call. It's not a cold call. It's HP. HP, once you say HP, People are, it becomes a warm call. And Raghu, here I am. I become my own. I call myself CEO of Jabulani Consulting. I pick up the phone, I call, and I was humble. People don't have time for you. Yeah, okay. Tell me a bit more. I'm not sure I understand. And Raghu, I was thrashing around. Now here you are. If you could just tell me what led you to, because everyone has a story. There's a
Yeah.
story here, right? Why would you exit the corporate world where you are a sales director working for some of the, I would say, what, Fortune 50, Fortune 100 companies
Yeah.
on the planet, right, Raghu?
Yeah.
What pivot happens? What fire lights up inside that says, I want to change people's lives and I want to do something different? Please tell me a bit about that story. So I'm very
Okay.
keen to.
See, even I have thought about this a lot, but the biggest change happened in October, November, December 2008. The
Yeah.
Lehman Brothers crash,
You went back to the
the
prime meltdown. I was wondering why
meltdown,
did
the
2008?
subprime crisis.
Yes,
So what
yes.
happened was suddenly we were doing so well for about 6 years, post 2000. Then 2002 was a small hiccup, but doing quite well. Everything hunky dory, and then this whole thing happens,
Yes.
and market size reduces by close to 50%.
Yes, I remember.
Suddenly you
Yes.
had the whole market gone, and we had to let go of a lot of people. I was the director for retail, and a lot of people you had to let go.
Mhm.
Many people struggled to find jobs, and it was again rebuilding the whole business, you know. And what
Yeah.
I realized post 2008, from 2009 onwards, to my shocking realization, see, in 90s, when we joined a sales job, 80s or 90s, I joined in 90s,
Yeah.
we were used to first 1 or 2 months of proper training. You were put through all kinds of product
Like a
training,
little boot camp, modular,
soft
step by
skills,
step.
uh, professional selling skills. You shadow your seniors. So first, you really learn a lot before you actually go and meet
Go and
customers. And
yes.
then in 2000s, because the market was growing fast and we needed to revenue a lot of this got crunched to a couple of weeks. A guy joins and 1 week he's put through. One day you sit with product team, one day you sit with supply chain finance, one day you sit with HR and all that stuff. So 2 weeks, 1 or 2 weeks of training. What I realized, to my shocking thing, post 2008, 2009, when companies were struggling to manage their costs, suddenly revenues clashed by 30, 40, 50%.
Yes.
And the one of the biggest casualty was L&D. you
Learning and
know
development. Yeah.
Nothing happened. That now everybody became, companies are hiring people like as if they are mercenaries. Can you join and from day one come with an account?
Correct. And here's a
you
wooden
know
stick. Think of it as a gun. Go attack.
yeah, in fact they were hiring account managers saying, can you come with two accounts? You join and convert those accounts to my
Oh my gosh.
company.
Yes, yes. I
So
remember
I
this that
could
type of
see
language.
over a period of 2009 and 2010 that most sales training, at least I'm only exposed to do sales, marketing, product teams and all. I'm not exposed to the HR, finance, operations, factory.
Understood.
They're all at
Understood.
arm's length away. But
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
could see that these people were suffering. They were not. They were always on transactions, on job. The only training that would happen would be product training. This is a new product. This is how you sell.
It
This is the
had these
price. Now
features,
go sell.
and these features do this. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Now
yes.
go sell. So I could see it worsening. And as you move around the field and people shifted industries, changed post 2008. Many people went to different industries. Even the telecom, which used to take very good salespeople, even telecom industry started losing its honeymoon period. People were shifting to different industries. Uh,
Yes.
so I could see that the quality of selling, it was becoming very transactional. Most salespeople were becoming information couriers. You go to a customer or a partner, they will tell you something. You take the
Oh,
information, come back to
here's
your
a
company.
brochure. Here's my brochure. Here's the cut and paste of the. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, they want so much quantity, so much price. You go back. So it,
You go
it
back.
was more like a transaction, you know. And then this was continuing. So it was playing at my back of my mind that can we do something about it? Like when I was in AMD, we did a lot of work around premiumization, training people on premium, upsell, cross sell. But still, I could see there was a lot of gap.
Yes.
And again, in 2011, there was this devastating Thailand floods,
Yeah. Yeah.
few
Okay.
months. And Thailand was the main supplier for storage devices across the world.
Oh,
Your
is this
Seagate,
when you were at Hitachi or
AMD, AMD,
AIM? Oh, still at AMD. Got it.
AMD. So then what happened is, because no storage drive was there, the entire PC industry again kind of crashed. Because you
Okay,
can't.
got it.
Why would an end customer buy a PC
Yes, I'm with you.
if there is no storage, there is no hard disk, or
Yeah, yeah. I think we also had a
Uh,
memory crisis at one point, if I remember.
but this was a big crisis. Then this got me thinking that, listen, that was the time I was almost completing about 19 years in IT industry, and I was thinking,
Yes.
last 3 years it's already at back of my mind. So this is
That,
going to be a never-ending cycle. In
right.
fact, only in 2012, market size was coming back to 2008 days. The PC market
Okay.
size,
Yes,
you know,
yes, yes.
and then again it is being set back. It will take another 2 years to come back to normal. So I was thinking, what is the toll it is going to take on sales? So, one, I wanted to move out of the industry because I've been through that whole sine wave and
The
cycle.
ups and downs, absolutely. Yes.
So beyond a point, the effort you put does not directly translate to results because there are many parameters you don't control.
Understood.
It's beyond you. Whether it's a subprime crisis or a Thailand floods, you don't control all that.
Or COVID.
Uh,
Because for
yes,
me leaving the corporate world happened thanks to COVID, because COVID made me started thinking the same way that you were talking about. What triggered a thought process? COVID triggered that thought process for me. What is going on? Well, Raghu, keep
then
going,
I
sir.
had three choices in front of me. The three
Yes.
choices were, I had a lot of thinking. Obviously, my wife supported me in all of this thinking process. One was stay where you are
Yes.
and keep doing what you're doing.
Status quo. Yes.
Yeah. Two was change the location. Go to a different city,
Go to a different city
a
or
different
okay, yeah, okay.
industry, or
Yeah.
a place. There are a lot of opportunities especially when you have spent a lot of time in multinationals like this. I would say, okay, you go to Malaysia, Indonesia, or Singapore, or whatever.
Correct. Change of water,
Uh,
change of atmosphere.
Change
Yeah.
of thing, and maybe it'll. Third was do something you always wanted to do. So for a long time, I've been thinking about being on my own, and within that, me and few of my friends, we have had multiple brainstorming sessions. Nobody from my work friends apart from my work life.
Got
We have
it.
been having similar corporate senior professionals in different industries about what should we be doing over a period of 2009-10, and multiple brainstorming sessions. I kept coming back to only one thing: sales training. The only apprehension
Yes.
many of them had was, see, sales training, one, it will take time to get established. It's very fragmented and may not pay as well as the corporate job we are doing today. But considering all these three, I decided it doesn't matter. I had a runway for the next 18 months taken care of to ensure your
Correct.
quality of life doesn't get affected for me or my family. And I said, let me put in 12 months. Worst case, what will happen? You can always go back to a job. You may not join at the same level. You may join at a level lower.
It's yeah, very
But
profound
cream
commentary.
always
Yeah.
rises to the top. You work, and
Yeah.
so I said, let's figure it out. But touch wood, things started shaping.
So, Raghu, I'm going to do a pivot with you. There's so
Yeah.
much you said there. There are people on this call who all have entrepreneurial desires. And there's a message you gave that I want to call out again to people. Someone once asked me, Deepak, you are working on your own startup idea. You are a strategic advisor to 6 entrepreneurs and stuff. And what's the one reason why entrepreneurs fail? And my answer was very simple, Raghu. They run out of money. So the guys looked at me like I was looking for a more profound answer. I said, no, you won't believe it. The best ideas die because you run out of money. And there's something you said, Raghu, which was the day you started thinking of becoming an entrepreneur, you did the maths and you said, I'm going to put 18 months aside. And you also had a contingency plan, all else failing. So I just wanted to make sure that people on the call who think this is just a sales conversation need to understand there's actually bigger things going on at play here, because you, Raghu, based on your 19 experience, knew that becoming an entrepreneur is not an easy cup of tea. You may think you will get everything right, but you need to have a plan. And I like the fact you raised that. And I think a lot of people would have missed that, so I called it out. But now, Raghu, I have to challenge you on one thing. You actually
Yeah.
said something very powerful. You said, one of the biggest concerns that your friends share with you is that this is a fragmented domain. You're spot on. Raghu, there are 10,000 ways to sell, correct? There are
Correct.
17 books on sales. You walk into any bookstore, you'll be amazed at the number of books in the bookstores, right? My first, how do you say this, interaction with you actually was on paper. There was a book, I think it was DNA of a Salesperson, that you had come out with,
Yeah.
right? I have a
Yes.
question for you. And this is a very profound question, Raghu.
This is the one.
Raghu, yes, that's a cover. Absolutely. Raghu,
Yeah.
I have a question for you on this book, though. You go into sales, you did not latch on to any IP from anyone, correct? Or did you actually have IP, or did you say, no, I'm going to do my own style, my own? What were the founding principles in your approach that, and maybe that's also summary of the book, because if I recall, your book is literally a simple, very powerful guide, and then I think you converted this into some in Hindi. If I recall, you did a Hindi book
Yeah, Sales
also.
Shastra.
Sales Shastra. Yes, yes, yes. I mean, so tell me a bit about this IP generation journey, and why did you feel that you wanted to create your own IP rather than pick up someone else's manual?
See, I was first thinking of taking. See, Americans are clearly at the forefront of the selling game.
Yeah, I'm
I
with you
don't
in
think
terms
any
of
other
generation
economy
of
or society
material.
values salespeople.
Yeah, both. Yeah, the way. Yes, you're right. I would
You have
agree
to
with that.
sell. When you
Yeah.
drive across US, you can see the lawyers selling to you from billboards everywhere. You know?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. In fact, they're
people selling
encouraging you, please
every
hit the
pill
other
is being
person.
sold.
I will help you. You just hit. I'm there for you. And I actually saw this ad. You're driving safely, but that could change in the next 1 mile. Don't forget my number, 1888. Call a friend. I'm like, what? You're wishing
In
me to
fact,
have an accent, but yes, you're right.
the
Go ahead,
best
Raghu.
ad
Sorry.
I saw was one family of lawyers or whatever advising with an older lady. If you don't trust us, ask our mother. It was
There
very
you go.
cute. I really loved it.
Families.
Anyway, coming back,
IP. Yes.
see, I thought about it. Then I even spoke to, I don't remember, a couple of people that I had been subjected to training during my HP or AMD days, but I didn't get a great response because they felt India market was too small for
Yeah, yeah,
them
you're
to.
right. I got
Uh,
the same sense, Raghu, from a
saying
lot of
that
the big players.
okay, they were talking to me, but not. Then one of my biggest inspiration has been Rahul Dravid. You know,
Our cricketer.
the
Yeah,
cricketer.
yeah.
Very consistent, stylish, hardworking. He's called the Wall, and he has his own academy. He teaches the way, and I realized, why can't I? See, at the end of the day, nobody can say 100% what you do is original. We are all inspired by so many people that we learn from. But why can't I put my own formula out there,
Mhm.
especially with more Indian and Asian context? Because
There's a
there is a lot of
cultural nuance which I
cultural.
admit to. Correct.
Yes, see, there are a lot of cultural differentiation. For example, in American selling, they'll say, don't talk of price right now, talk of price at the end. But it's not possible in India. In India, first thing customer, before they even talk to you, is first tell
It's
me what is the range.
yes,
Only if I'm comfortable, then I'll continue conversation with you. There is a lot of difference in
yes.
because we don't have the payment mechanisms like they have easy leases and structures that you can
Everything
buy
is
anything and walk out. With the product with just fraction of the cost. It doesn't work like that in India.
yeah.
So I thought, why can't I create my own? So I started small. First, I focused on retail. I went to retail stores to see how they are selling. Then I went and approached a couple of brands and say, hey, I went to your retail stores. They are not really upselling. I think if they do this 2, 3, 4 things, it can move forward. I was one of them said, why don't we try it or do a pilot? You know, so I didn't go and say I've set up a company and I can do all of this. I went in the reverse way. I went to a store, figured out, and went to that boss of the company and said, hey, I think we can do this.
Do this. Okay. Okay.
He said, okay, go ahead and do a pilot. If the pilot works, we will roll it out. Pilot worked, they rolled it out.
Bravo.
Then secondly, I said another way is I need to also keep learning. I can't just take my work experience. I need structure and proper fundamentals because when you're training, so what I did
You,
was that exact same time, 2013s, during that time, I saw an ad in newspaper where one American and Indian media giant, they had created a management school for executive professionals where the advertisement was for professor of management practice, people with industry experience who wants to teach.
who want to teach. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I applied. So I'm applying after some 20 years basis the newspaper ad,
Right.
and I got a call. There was a tele interview by an American for
Yes.
about 45 minutes. Then I got called into the Gurgaon campus. Then one more interview. Then they gave me a topic and said you have to present in front of a panel where
Right.
you have to simplify marketing, but for salespeople.
Oh,
It was a 5-minute presentation I created. Then they selected me, and I became so all that also. Then as I was teaching, I was learning
now you're getting a bit more formal frameworks. Things are popping up.
exactly
Yes.
framework, how to talk, and uh, how world has changed over a period of time. You know, see, a lot of times we are in our own mind with working in a large company for a long time. You think there is no other world outside. You know,
You nailed
So
it. Absolutely. And that's exactly what I realized. Oh my gosh, how much I discovered after leaving the corporate world. Now,
absolutely.
Raghu, can we dig into this a bit more? Because we spoke about physical books, but I do believe you
Yeah.
have also launched an app for sales in
Yes.
India,
Yes.
correct? And tell me a bit about that thought process and what exactly do you, and who's the target audience for something like that? And who would be the person that would benefit the most from it? And is it by itself, or do you support with your training as well, and stuff like that? Or how have you developed that model? Give me some
So
understanding.
my entire again the reason for launching the SalesArt LMS, the app, or SalesArt online learning app. Incidentally, SalesArt is basically art of sales and Mozart.
You know what?
That's
I
how.
was going to ask you that did you try to register Sales Art and realize that salesart.com was gone? So Sales Art you figured out with a Z in
No,
it.
no,
Now I got
no.
the answer.
Yeah.
Sales
The,
and Mozart came Sales Mozart and art.
See, the
Okay,
idea
got it.
is you have different types of salespeople with different skills in different departments, channel,
Right.
direct sales, SMB, and you need all of them to, just like in a symphony orchestra, you want different instruments coming together.
Yes.
So how can I get a large sales teams doing different things, working like a symphony orchestra, so that the company's goals are achieved?
Got it.
That's my thought
The
process.
Mozart, Sales Mozart. I should have
Yeah.
asked. I actually just assumed okay, because Sales Art with an S was already taken. You said, okay, what can
No,
I
no.
do? Let me just get Z
I
and
went
just
with
say
this. Even my
Mozart. Got
logo
it.
has a piano keyboard with salespeople on it.
Oh, I missed that. I need to go back and look at that again carefully.
Yeah,
Thank you for the
yeah,
calling that one out, Raghu.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
sir.
So coming back, sorry, you were asking about.
Uh, you see, I'm enjoying this so much that even I forgot my own question to you. What I was actually saying is that the app, who is the app
ah,
designed for,
so
and how
what
do you
again?
support the expansion of the app with the physical training component that you made your track record on?
See, see, everything has evolved over a period of time. So when I started off in 2012 December, the focus was on physical face-to-face training workshops.
Right.
But at some stage, I realized that uh, you know there are underserved people. For example, many companies have a lot of smaller reseller partners spread across hundreds of towns in India
Hmm.
who are not getting training support from the company. On products, technologies, soft skills. They are not getting any training. The only training they get is when the channel team goes and does these reseller meets once a quarter, or
Yes.
the channel manager or the area manager or his team, the feet on street, meet them once a week and give a 15-minute update on what is available after giving them the price list. And these people are multi-brand, so there is no loyalty and there is no value that is going to them.
So
See, at
yes,
the end of the day, when a customer walks into a small reseller in a small town, typically they will only respond to the customer. Do you have this brand? Yes, take it.
yes, take
But
it.
even
Yes.
if they're able to talk for 2 minutes about one particular brand, connect with the customer, the sale will close. So I suggested it. I said, this is an area which is under. I didn't want to get into corporate LMS where that I don't want to fight with the big guys.
Now I see you found a different spot. And this is
Exactly.
what I always tell people. The power in India is that there is a pyramid. And the base of that pyramid is actually underserved. And smart people know how to play that game. And especially with technology, I think, Raghu, you found a spot. So that kind of answers the question. You have an app that is being designed to take, instead of saying enterprise level wisdom, into simplified methodology that people
Exactly.
at a ease of use and easy adoption and quick returns.
So even big companies, for example, Microsoft, when they did their Windows 11 rollout few years back,
Yeah.
realized that there are thousands of resellers out there who are not still understanding it better. So
Yes.
we created a dedicated channel in our app and reached across to close to 1,000 resellers.
And had a customized program that you
Customized
deployed for
program
them
with
through your
assessment,
channel, through your
certifications. Absolutely. We reach out to them. My team calls them up, make sure they take the training, understand. Then we conduct live webinars through the app itself to clarify any doubts.
got it.
So I've realized that, while there is a lot of money being spent on the badged employees of large Indian corporates or the big MNC employees,
It's this
but
bigger
the people
ecosystem.
actually touching the customer, they don't get
And that
the
could
trickle
easily
down
be
effect
a
doesn't
factor
happen.
of two or three of the core market that you'd think of. So Raghu,
Absolutely.
let me ask you a question that's really been, in the back of my mind, because I really want to. There's a post you did that I really enjoyed. And in it you said, sales must be treated as a profession, not a personality trait. And this is interesting because people ask me, Deepak, which personality trait makes a better salesperson? And I must be honest with you, Raghu. I don't know. I've met
Yes,
every type. I have met the introvert, I've met the extrovert, but I've realized one thing: they're all accountable. They are good communicators. They do what they say they will do every time. And if they make a mistake, they learn from that mistake and they don't let it happen again. These are some general characteristics, but I cannot tell you personality wise. One speaks a lot, one doesn't speak a lot. One's a physics guy, one's a. I have one of the best salespeople I work with, a BA in English. I work
exactly.
with BSc chemistry people. I mean,
Real
animal
history.
husbandry. You never. So treat it as a profession, not a personality trait. What exactly are you getting at? I would love to hear your version of it.
See, one of my pet peeves is you have dedicated college level programs for everything. For example, you want to do coding,
Oh,
you want to do
yes,
AI, you
yes,
have. But when it comes to sales, it is always few chapters in a BBA or an MBA degree.
yes, absolutely.
And most of these BBA or MBA graduates, when they come out with the mindset of, oh, I'm going to manage, I'm going to run brands, I'm going to do advertising, I'm going to do
Yes,
marketing. But inevitably, majority of them get employed as sales professionals,
got it.
you
Yes,
know. And also looking at it externally, today we live in an era where too many brands, too many products are chasing the same base of customers with hardly any differentiation in their product, value propositions, messaging, pricing. The only differentiation is two: the people who touch the customer pre sales, post sales.
post sales. Yes,
The service engineers who touch post sales, and the salespeople who are touching to sell. These are the only differentiators that come. Even you may take the Chat GPT, Gemini, Anthropic,
through
and
everything.
DeepSeek.
Yeah, yeah.
Finally, it will be the enterprise sales teams which decide which is able to convert the big accounts to one of them.
When it comes to salespeople, one of the things that I've realized is that those who master the art of overcoming rejection will survive. I wanted to make sure that I get some, wisdom, some nuggets from you. How should a young salesperson think about rejection, bad months, and self-doubt? What advice would you give someone like that?
See, first and foremost, rejection is not a no; it is just a not yet.
Not yet.
you know Very, very important. And
Yeah.
rejection is not personal, it is for your company or the product or the brand that they have rejected.
It's
Okay,
not the
now
person got, yeah.
it's not that they've rejected you and you're incapable or things like that.
Yeah.
And third is, I would strongly urge people, when you go through rejection, take feedback. Don't just
Yes.
walk away disenchanted. I have seen deals turn around when I asked customers, Sir, I understand you've gone with my competition. I completely respect you. But tell me two or three things that I should have done better so that
Better.
next time I
Yes.
don't do the same mistakes. You
Yeah.
won't believe, some customers don't care. They will never give you feedback. Some customers who genuinely, they'll give you feedback. And 6 months later, he'll call and give you business also.
Because you thought the long term and you also want to learn from that experience. And I think that's powerful, right?
Exactly. And what we discussed earlier, do not hesitate to ask help from seniors. People
What
are
is,
waiting to help. People inherently are good. You just need to
wait, wait,
talk
wait,
to
wait,
them.
wait. Sir, that is my line. You have to pay me because Raghu, I always tell people, you have to assume the inherent goodness in people. Because if
Very
you
good.
assume the opposite,
Absolutely.
you're going to live a miserable life.
Absolutely. I'm completely with you on that. I also have that
Yeah.
philosophy that the
Agreed.
person, sometimes people tell me, hey, you're too trusting. No, it's not about trusting. Inherently believe that the person I'm talking to has good intentions.
And
Then
and and
situations may change and the behavior changes, but
and
you
then you
you don't assume anything. You be
I
like a blank sheet of paper, and then basis your interaction, fill the data.
and Raghu, I want the listeners to understand there's so much power in what you're saying because there's also this reality in sales, right? People hear something and their brain jumps to a conclusion. What you're actually saying is, in the same way that you don't take a loss personally and you learn from it, in the same way, when you're engaging on everything you do, if you actually show that pause, that restraint, it is always beneficial in sales because you'll be surprised. One of the things I learned was that my boss actually used to sit next to me and the customer would say, I don't like this price thing, guys. I don't understand. There's no ways this is going to work in our budget. And I would blurt out something like, what would work in your budget? And my boss would always like put his hand and just, so he told me, listen to me very carefully. When price comes, I want you to shut up. I want you to watch what I do. He would actually just, he would look at the guy would stop and he would be waiting for an answer. This guy would just pause. He would pause for 2 minutes, but no, 2 seconds. Now the 2 seconds feel like 2 minutes though, Raghu, because everything is quiet. Then you say to the guy, I hear you. I think that's just an observation or comment you're making. Would you tell me why and what thought is going behind and what is the benchmark you're using? I would love to understand a bit more. Can you? And he would then keep on asking penetrative questions, ultimately to the point where the guy realizes price is not the issue. He's either misunderstanding the scope or he's conflating cash flow and payment cycles with what they can afford. Then it
Correct.
becomes a matter of making. And I said to him, why didn't you teach that early? He said, because there's a certain time and place where you need to understand the value of pause, Deepak. And you have a problem. 2:1, God gave you, but you are always using this 2 times more than this. He says, slow down. And I was like, Raghu, one more question for you. And I know my audience is at this point saying to the wives, "Yeah, let me finish this podcast, then I'll come for dinner." Raghu, I'm a salesperson. And there's a statistic that I saw that blew my mind. And I took it very personally because it happened to me. I exited
Mm,
sale at age 35, Raghu, because I could not take it anymore. I then went
mm,
into sales ops. And I absolutely flourished because what happens in sales operations is that you now come from a sales background, but you actually realize sales operations gives you tremendous opportunity to reduce coefficient of drag for salespeople.
correct.
So you get the best of both worlds. You get to still be supporting sales. You get to still respond to customer angst, but without the chase, the money confusion, and the other stuff that happens, right?
Mm.
Now, good, bad, ugly, that's not the point. From your experience, what helps a salesperson stay mentally resilient and actually enjoy a long career in sales? Because I saw a statistic that said 35% of salespeople leave the sales function by age 35. To me, that's one third of humanity's best. Would you agree? Your entire tone has been it's a profession and it's a noble profession. Correct, sir?
Correct.
If a third of a profession is leaving, it's like saying a third of doctors leave India and go migrate to other countries. We should be worried about that, right?
No,
So, Raghu,
absolutely.
how would you give advice to salespeople listening in the last 2 minutes of this podcast to stay mentally resilient and actually enjoy a long career in sales? Over to you, sir.
See, the first thing I would always tell people, especially one, trust your own capabilities and be fearless. I
Oh,
never
wow.
had this. See, when I talk to a lot of people, I hear this fear. Oh my God, if this doesn't happen, I may have to lose this job, or I have EMIs to pay. My kid is in 11th standard, 10th standard, and
Yeah.
all that. I always tell them, listen, I'm not trying to be cocky or trying to be brash or something here. Don't you have confidence in yourself that you can do something to take care of your cash flow?
Yeah.
I can do 4 odd jobs to take care of my cash flow. It's not, it's, and forget about what society thinks of you or what those few people will think. Nobody cares. So, first and foremost is be fearless. The moment fear is removed,
Yes.
you will do the right things.
You will do the right things. I'm with
The
you.
fear is what
Because
makes you do a lot of things which you are not supposed to do.
my ex-boss Raghu used to use this word, Deepak, you're consequence mongering. And I said, sir, what is consequence mongering? It's like fear mongering. Oh, if you don't do this, then this will happen. He says, you are consequence. You are so worried about what could go wrong and what
Beautiful
will
phrase, na?
happen that you are not
I'm going to
able to
use it.
think.
Consequence mongering. Very
Consequence
nice
mongering.
phrase. Mm.
Fearless. When you said
Yeah.
fearless, that hit me.
See,
Raghu
you
sir.
have to be fearless. What's the worst case that's going to happen? The deal is going to go away. You're
Yeah.
going to miss your numbers. Does your life end? Nothing. I mean, it's just a
And
question of the moment you're fearless, you will also talk with a lot of attitude to the customer, the right attitude, and you will not be begging for business.
no.
You
And
know,
and Raghu, I affiliated myself with Sandler, right? And one of the Sandler rules is equal stature. And I think when I heard you talk, I actually realized
absolute.
when you're fearless, you're actually sitting as an equal at the table. And if you're fearless, you're also going to tell a customer when he's thinking the wrong way also. And that's when you become a trusted advisor, Raghu.
In fact,
When
I
you really
always say
reach
this
that.
during my trainings.
Yeah.
Never be like this, sir, please, sir. Be like this.
Yes.
See, you
Yes.
are trading goods
Absolutely.
and services. You're giving a lot of value and benefit so that the business can run very well. In
Yes.
return, they're paying you money.
And that is
And then you
and it's a
guarantee
commercial
services,
contract.
warranty, whatever you're guaranteeing. It's an equal relationship.
Brilliant.
Nobody is doing
Perfect.
a favor to anyone. So,
Understood.
first is fear. And the second, the final one is being proactive. All I tell people, you just need to put in that extra 30 minutes every day to be one step ahead.
In terms of
All
planning and structure.
No, just be proactive. For example, I met a customer. I told the customer I'll give the proposal by Wednesday. Most people I've seen end up sending it late evening Wednesday or Thursday morning or Friday.
I see your point now.
All I'm saying is you said Wednesday, send it on Tuesday evening.
And
Always be one
that's the
step
switch.
ahead. See that
Yes.
being proactive, if you're just one step ahead, you are the hunter and not the hunted. And then the mind says you are in control
I
of the
like that.
situation.
I like
Then
that.
the mind says you are in control of the situation. When your mind says you are in control of the situation, you react better. you act better.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that. There's so much neuroscience evidence behind that, right? There's so much you've said in there. And I think the way you've explained it is profound, because what you're saying is that it's your behaviors. Now, don't give me the chemical thing happening in your brain at that point. I can tell you based on experience, this happens and this is how you'll benefit from it. Raghu, sir, I will not test the patience of our audience anymore. I really enjoyed this conversation. I'm grateful you came on this call.
I
It's
am
been, let's
actually
say,
thankful to you for this amazing
my
opportunity.
pleasure. But now, before you disappear, sir, into the your world, and I disappear into my world, how can people reach you? How can people find you, Raghu? I will definitely be putting down your LinkedIn profile link in my podcast. Is there an email you want to share? Is there a website you want to share with the audience?
Absolutely. Raghuraman at salesart.com.
Raman at salesart.com. I will make sure to
And
include that
website is
also in
salesart.com. I'm always reachable on LinkedIn,
yes.
and you can just send me a mail, and I'm just a mail away. I normally try and respond ASAP.
Oh,
So,
I'm witness to that. You and I think discussed a couple of times back and forth, and I think within 3 4 days we had locked on a date and a time, and here we are today. Pleasure, sir. I'm going to bid adieu now. I've always said this to people: when you bring stalwarts, when you bring, and a lot of people tell me, well, aren't you bringing like ancients on these calls, Deepak? 30 years experience and 40 years experience, and I'm like, yeah, we're ancients. But let me ask you a question: how many of us are reading books written 5,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, right? We are, right, and we still
yeah,
are profoundly enchanted with those. I have a question: why are you then disappointed with the 30-year man who's going to come in, a 30-year experienced person who's going to come and actually show you that sales doesn't change, people change, but the basic precepts of sales psychology are going to remain. People will always
absolutely.
buy 9.99 faster and quicker than $10. I don't know why, Raghu. I'm still trying to figure that out, but hota hai, right? So
No,
Raghu
that's
sir,
what I tell people. Even the latest and the greatest technology needs a salesperson to sell. The other day, I saw an ad for Open AI wanting account managers. You know, they want.
you absolutely nailed it. What's really interesting is there's a company in the UK called Artisan. Artisan's ad was, get rid of humans, only work with AI. So someone says, hey, that's awesome. But when I try to get a demo from you guys, I have to speak to a person and a person demos it to me. So let's not conflate the issue here right now. You need
Correct.
to sell your products, and only human beings can ultimately make the judgment call in the last mile. That's how I
Correct.
looked at Raghu. Now, Raghu, sir, do you just realize we never even discussed AI? And I'm very sure you have an opinion on that. But sir, let's hold on that. Maybe there's a part two to this conversation.
Yeah.
Let's take it from there. Raghu, thank you very much for your time. I'm going to try my best to edit this to an hour. All else failing, I think my audience is going to get maybe two newsletters from you with jam-packed information. I'll break it into two pieces, but the podcast will keep in one piece. Raghu, take care, sir. Bye bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
My pleasure, Raghu. Bye bye, sir.